Has everybody had fun so far? Alright, so a lot of you probably heard my testimony last year, but we're all going to go over it again. So for those of you who don't know, my name is Tommy. I'm 17 years old, and I will be a senior at Southland Christian. I play just about any sport that I can find, whether it's soccer, football, martial arts, swimming, or running. But I especially love helping the pink team win all of our games. I play several different instruments, listen to a lot of music, love beating my brother in video games, and enjoy hanging out with my family. I actually didn't get a picture of my family, but I have a brother Matthew, and a sister Sarah, and then I live with my mom and dad, and my two dogs, Mac and Boston. So I mainly go to a church called HBBC, but I also attend the youth group at New City, and New City is hosting this camp this week. So for me, growing up in a Christian home, there was never much question about what I believed. I went to a Christian school, I went to church every Sunday, read my Bible, and prayed consistently. My mom tried to make sure that we were as invested in God as we could be, and we were, and still are. But at about 11 years old, when I was probably 6, my father died of cancer. At the time, I didn't really understand what this meant, but I kind of assumed it couldn't be anything good just because of everybody's reaction, and just he wasn't there anymore. Now I know, though, that he is in heaven, and one day I will see him. My mom later remarried to my stepdad that I'm close with, and this was a huge point in my life, even though I don't remember it too well. But the point where I really started to accept Jesus into my own life, and really truly understand it, was in 6th grade with my youth pastor, Ken. With him and some other friends, during what we call D groups, discipleship groups, we would go over books of the Bible and devotionals and topics of faith together. This is where my faith really started to grow, and especially developed in 8th grade when I started to learn more about the gospel. It kind of explained to me that we are all sinners from birth and what Jesus had done to me to pay for that sin and why he had done it. One of the things that I always struggled with, though, was committing wholly to Jesus in my free time and when no one was around. So I started reading my Bible and devotionals more and more consistently. I continued to grow, but Kenneth left our youth group eventually, and the new youth pastor that came was named Gar. He also had a big impact on me through music, which you know I play. He taught me a lot about worship and having the right attitude towards God. I also read a devotional by a music pastor named Bob Kaufman called Worship Matters, which also taught me a lot and encouraged me. Then, up until about 3 years ago, I was invited to New City, thank you, Caleb. And once I started joining regularly, I joined small groups, started playing worship, and I felt closer to God than I ever did before. Prayer, serious worship, like I didn't experience often, serious talks, and being in God's Word encouraged me and helped me to be more and more committed to Him daily. So one last thing I'd like to talk about is, I think it was about a year ago, maybe 2, I had a seizure. I was out for a very long time. It was a very traumatic experience for my whole family, and really made me consider what happens after death and about my faith in God. My mom, sadly, later told me that she thought I had died, and when I had woken up, she encouraged me to think about my faith and how my heart was with God. So, 2 challenges that I have for all of you is first to consider your faith in Jesus. This camp, we learn a lot about him, so there's tons of leaders that you can talk to, that you can talk about your faith, or if you want to have a relationship with Jesus, talk to any of the leaders here. And the second is to talk to your leader and get started on a Bible reading or devotional plan that you can read, and you can spend time in prayer, and through that, I can tell you that you will see a lot of growth in your relationship with God and